From humble beginnings on a farm to international fame, Jim Rohn was born on September 17, 1930, in Yakima, Washington. He was the only child of Emmanuel and Clara Rohn, hardworking farmers who owned and ran a farm in Caldwell, Idaho. It was there, amid the routines of rural life, that Jim spent his early years and learned the values that would shape his future. Jim Rohn grew up without the privileges or opportunities of a wealthy upbringing. His parents, of modest means, could only afford to send him to the local school. His father believed mistakenly that the local education would be enough to equip Jim with the knowledge he needed to succeed. But Jim felt otherwise. He often said that school never taught him what he truly needed to know about life. Disillusioned, he dropped out of college after just 1 year and took a full-time job as a store clerk at Sears Roebuck by the age of 25. However, Jim found himself deep in debt and financially broken. On top of that, he had taken on the responsibility of providing for his family, a role he struggled with, unsure of where his life was headed. With limited direction and growing pressure, Jim was at a crossroads, desperate for a change, but unclear on how to make it happen. One day, he was invited by a friend of his to a seminar by Earl Shoaff. The seminar became a turning point in his life as he began a 5-year-long step-by-step journey to discover his inner self. Jim began a personal coaching session with Earl and learned some fundamental principles of life, such as altering oneself in order to bring about the desired change. He also began to work as a distributor at Earl's direct selling business, Ubunda Vita. Jim resigned from his Ubunda Vita in 1957 and joined NutriBio, another direct selling business. Soon, the founders of NutriBio began to mentor Jim. After this mentorship, his life transformed, and he helped to grow one of the largest organizations in NutriBio. In 1960, NutriBio expanded into Canada, and Jim was made the vice president of the company. However, NutriBio soon went out of business, and Jim migrated to Beverly Hills in California in the 1960s. In 1963, he was invited to give a speech at his Rotary Club in the Beverly Hills Hotel. He accepted the invitation and told the Mattel that he titled "Idaho Farm Boy Makes It to Beverly Hills." This was the first public seminar, and it impressed everyone that listened. As a result, he got more invitations from other people asking him to speak at various events like luncheons, meetings, schools, colleges, and other services clubs. Jim began to speak regularly, presenting seminars all over the country and telling his story and personal development philosophy. Slowly, Jim was recognized as an international speaker and a well-known figure in the Department of Personal Assistance all over the world. All through the 1970s, Jim conducted several seminars for Standard Oil. He also took part in a personal development business known as Adventures in Achievement. The business showcased both personal development, workshops, and live seminars. Jim went on to present seminars all around the world for more than 40 years. In the late 1970s, Jim mentored Marker Hughes, who founded Herbalife International, and Tony Robbins of Life Strategist. Jim also played an important role in influencing the lives and careers of authors Mark Victor Hansen, Jack Canfield, author and lecturer T. Harv Eker, Todd Smith, and Brian Tracy. Aside from giving seminars, Jim also co-authored the novel 12 Pillars with Chris Widener. He was also the author of 17 different written, video, and audio media, which include The Day That Turns Your Life Around and The Power of Ambition. Most of his speeches became available for free on YouTube and Instagram. Jim received the National Speakers Association Award for Excellence in Speaking in 1985. Jim authored more than 17 different books on personal development and business philosophy. He was popularly referred to by many people as the greatest motivational speaker of all time. Jim always handled the subjects of business and personal success by asking these four important questions: why, why not you, and why not now? He would then find answers to these and other related questions to reveal practical and perceptive secrets for success and productivity. His special lifestyle, mixed with anecdotes and witticisms, captivated his listeners and ignited their enthusiasm and can-do spirit. Jim was also a philanthropist, well known for his charity, generosity, and donations. One of his most famous quotes is, "I believe that contributing 10% of your after-tax income is a good amount to strive for. It's pretty easy to take a dime out of a dollar." Jim believed that a giving mindset was what set the wealthy. Apart from the poor, there was no record of Jim's personal dating life. There was no record that he was ever married, nor that he had any children. Jim was believed to be married to his career. However, some hold that Jim was married with many children and grandchildren, but there is no information about his wife and children. On December 5, 2009, it was announced that Jim died from pulmonary fibrosis at the age of 79. He was buried in Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California. Before his death, Jim was one of the most influential and richest personalities in the U.S. with an estimated net worth of $171 million. Since his death, Jim has been much remembered, celebrated, and loved, and has never been forgotten. Till now, lots of people still gain insight on life from all the works which he left behind. An online tributary video was made and dedicated to him. The video was watched more than 100,000 times, and yet people are still gaining mentorship from the parts of him that remain recorded inside the world. Who was Jim Rohn? Everybody makes his or her own fortune, and in a quest to do so, he or she must abide by the fundamental principles of life, and also boost up their spiral of consequent improvement and self-realization. This was exactly the one case for Jim, who rose from being a mere poor farm boy in Idaho to limelight. Despite the fact that he dropped out of college due to financial limitations, this is a very good point to prove that there is no excuse for failure, and anything that eventually happens to you in life is your handiwork. Anybody can succeed, only if you should seek to do so, Jim said. One way to learn to do something right is to do something wrong. Failure must teach us, or surely success will not reward us. Jim quickly grasped the opportunity when he met with Earl, began to learn that he could reach for the stars. Jim proved that he could really achieve those things which he dreamed. Yes, he became a millionaire barely 6 years after he was heavily indebted and financially bankrupt. His story turned out to be overwhelming and inspiring for all those who listened. Everyone has a unique ability and would be very good at doing a particular thing. Jim understood this, and he maximized his brilliant storytelling skills to tell the lessons he had learned to the world. This also helped him to gain global appeal and find several people who were very much lost in broad daylight. Though Jim is dead and gone for life, he would never be forgotten, and the legacy he has left behind has been taken up by his students. Today, Jim Rohn is still a famous and successful author, entrepreneur, and motivational speaker.